So hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Anshu coming back with the today's Hindu editorial. So if you are new to my channel, I am uploading every day the Hindus analysis editorial. So you must go and check out. If you like my video, just subscribe to my channel and update to the everyday's Hindu analysis. And if you're my regular viewer, you already must know that I am already uploading from the January 1 to Hindus analysis editorial continuously at the midnight. It means 9 p.m. and between the 9 and 10 p.m. So the starting the day with the thought of day is nothing is impossible. The word itself says I am possible. Basically, it's if you are determined to anything that you want to achieve in your life, you must succeed in this. If anybody says that you can't do it is impossible, then the word itself says I am possible. So just ending with the quote with the motivation and starting to what we are going to cover with the Hindu analysis. Let's have a recap and start the editorial. So what we are going to cover is first one is about the US elections, its allegations, deeply troubling, says MEA. India's China's worked hard to protect the G20. Second one is about the Stalin Pradhan spas over NEP language provision and the pictures about artisans rehearsing for mega junior events in Guwahati. Uttarakhand to tell HC why it is sought to personal details to register live-in ties. Next one is covering the editorial about the converting court case backlog into treasure troves. Fourth one is about the concept of sexual equality must be part of syllabus. Fifth article is about the US visit viewed through the industry business lens and this judge's dilemma. Sixth editorial about the record of 6.5 lakh olive ridley turtles reach Odisha beach for mass nesting. Army air defense gear up counter down drone threat. Seventh article is about India's emerging global powerhouse says Modi and NMC guidelines for disabled candidate arbitrary rules SC. So these are going to cover in today's editorial. Today's editorial are it was in the span of 30 minutes. So stay tuned till the last. The editorial is going to amazing interesting, covering with the various aspects of the today's important headlines and editorials. So let's starting with the front page about the US elections aid allegations deeply troubling says MEA. So here is the US DOJ is the Department of Government Efficiency runs by billionaire Elon Musk in a decision shared post on Twitter Monday. So it cancelled 21 millions in USAID fund for voters turnout in India, and MES declines to comment on whether the government is reviewing USAID's ongoing partnership with multiple ministries. So here there is a deeply true allegations made by US government that United States Agency for International Development planned to spend 21 million on funding voters to turn out in India. So the Indian government first reaction to DOJ post is the Ministry of External Affairs Minister said that the department's comment to whether the India should cancel a number of MOUs and agreement on USAID's funding made with various ministries over past years and many still current. So why these DOJs spend their millions of money on the voter turnouts? What are their advantages? What is the benefit? Nobody wants nobody spent their money on their unusual purpose. There must be any useful purpose that they are spending. So these funds they spend the monies on the various countries for their voter turnouts so that they have is they have a administrative and ruling control over them. So the US President Donald Trump on Thursday raised the concerns terming a fund kickback scheme under the Biden administration, and DOJ also mentioned that 29 million spending political landscape in Bangladesh. So these are the countries that they have contribute like 19 million political landscape in Bangladesh and $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal, and also noted that all the items in list have been cancelled. So how these are the efficient in just turn out the political scenario if there is in Bangladesh, how the PM Sheikh Hasina has just uh, placed, and many other also countries where the voters, how the voters turn out difference in their aspects. So just they want that control on that particular country about spending their monies on them. So the BJP Congress lock horns on over a report on USAID money. So the BJP on Friday dismissed a media report claiming 21 million USAID's fund allocation was for Bangladesh, and was accused the Congress party for involved in anti-India activities. The Congress claimed that BJP narrative was aimed at diverting attention from its own foreign funds to destabilize Congress government in past. So next is about the India's China's worked hard to protect G20. So our foreign external affairs minister Jaishankar on Friday talks with the Chinese foreign minister Wang Yi on the G20 foreign minister meeting. This question can be important, where the meeting is held in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's about the meeting of G20 sideline of G20. It's work hard to protect. So the line of actual, what are the bilateral developments including the situation on line of actual control? And Mr. Jaishankar pointed out that both countries are members of G20 SCO and BRICS. So discuss the reason and global issues. So we should recognize in the polarized global situation, our two countries have worked hard to preserve and protect the G20 as an institution, and itself testifies to the importance of international cooperations. So the going forward, the Mr. Jaishankar said that he hoped to take forward talks on bilateral issues including management on the peace and tranquility in border areas, and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri have visited in Beijing in recent months to talks about the such gatherings. So the bilateral tension over deadly Galwan issues, clashes in and China's aggressions on LAC in signed in, putting the tension in past tense. So next is of covering. So here the questions can be asked about art and culture, about the Jhumri Bandhani dance in a Guwahati for Friday to set up a world record. So asking rehearsal here. The questions also related to the Indian classical dances and what are they. So it's important. So marked it. So the Stalin Pradhan spares over NEP language provision. So basically what here is like the Tamil Nadu government that they want a two language policy, but the center was convincing for the three language policy. So they want to include English, English, Tamil, and also Hindi. But this Tamil Nadu government said that they will not implement. They will only implement two languages. And education is in the under concurrently, so both have the equal contribution like center and state. And there is a claiming that the center is pressurizing for the language policy under the national education policy. So he would never allow anything in detrimental state. So so long DMK and Mutrawal exists no activity against Tamil, and he also said that Mr. Pradhan letter him to earlier in the day arguing the state government to rise above politics and prioritize the political empowerment in students. So Mr. Pradhan has argued that the Tamil Nadu continued opposition to NEP for political reasons deprive a student for immense opportunities, and accusing center try to promote Hindi in the use of development of vernacular languages. So but it doing the center is doing politics by promoting Hindi, a country where you play politics with languages and religion and then accuse others. So one in the center triggered the sentiments of Tamil, and Mr. Stanley said, "Don't throw the stone at the beehive," and these are there are conflicts going on between the center and state government. So here about the passing of the UCC code, Article 44, that for civil code that registered that they have to register their personal details to live in ties. So the Uttarakhand to tell High Court why it is sought to personal details. So the government here would soon file an affidavit explaining why it is sought to determine. Sorry. On previous in the living couples for the uniform civil code, which was rolled in the recently state, and the government have said that adding a aim was not to record anyone personal details. So the here the petitions filed in the high court by one Samrat Anirudh Bhagwat challenging mandatory registration in living relationship and UCC, and the petitions also challenged Form 3 UCC that sought informations of couple previous relationship, living partner, decree of divorce, as well as their Aadhaar based detail. So speaking to the court, Chief Justices G. Narendra and Justice like Solicitor appearing for the Uttarakhand and Union Government has asking to file an affidavit explaining why such digital will sought. So they're they want answer for explaining the reason why personal details were registered to live in ties. So next article is about the converting the court backlogs into treasure troves. So every Chief Justice of India coming into office of spectral legal and down a senior concerned member of a higher judiciary. So there is a many backlog cases that haunting him over with senior and concerned member of higher judiciary. So basically 82,000 cases. It's a high court and over 62 lakh. Here this 62 lakh cases have been pending for more than 10 years. So it is an adversarial system. Basically it's talking about the Lokpal and Lokayukta. So what is it is an adversarial system that our judges are not hardworking for efficient great majority of them, but we are country where vast population has been used to thinking like there is a 21 judges for every million of citizens. And we rely on the adversarial system, that means virtually every case see multiple interim applications. So here the subject of well-meaning and some well sought have initiative rarely gain in the prominences and push to make system game change. So here the data governance is a one field where sensible classification will avoid repetitive engagement and make for quicker disposal. So appointing the retired judges to serve in the ad hoc capacity does help in and ameliorate the situation for limited extents. So here the biders sweats large obligations, for example, landlord tenant disputes, check bouncing cases, whether the tracking, yeah, that it's a tweaking laws, compensatory, even a punitive cases costs are commonly used for deter the frivolous or unnecessary litigations. So the elephant is in the room in of course. The elephant is in the room is of course the government, and being a player nearly half of disputes coming to court, a reform will stunted unless it learns to litigate less and become more amenable. So this is a like a it's a gigantic backlog, the enormous waiting room, and with a cavernous walls and storage shelves and racks bursting the claims of for readdress the justice of million and citizens causes. So long stay itself by denial of justice. It's unfinished business, too obvious sign, and there is nothing good about a backlog. So the pitchful meditation is like a nascent, unlikely the sound may first. Yet another significant instances is the process of meditation is nascent and fledgling in the 1990 meditation started to make It's marked 2005 in India, and lawyer led the judges guided provide opportunity for the dispute to trend neutral in atmosphere confidentiality with no one imposing a result. It's a long-term interest with some legal realism, and those proper shift from attacking the other to jointly stacking the problem. The case comes from swath of civil and commercial, personal and property, matrimonial mercantile disputes. So the results are encouraging. So 2 is really a ready adoption by bar of these alternative nows and full-fledged professional avenues here, governments and other disputes arising. So getting it to work here, like treasures is a backlog. There is a for judges the backlog is burden. So for the mediator it is treasure trove in front of us, rather hidden in the courtly dungeons are hundred of cases which just have to assign to mediators handles. So the trained and experienced one ensuring the reasonable fee paid of the services, and the vast logical administrative infrastructure saved the multiple cases, and the works result in the achieving meditations litigation, not just a practical solution to both parties accept but often restoration of relationship. So perhaps it is a time we take a keys recreation our chambers horror of as a birthing place of meditations and apply the principle by which meditators live and work, turning the problem into opportunity for solution. So moving to the next about concept of sexual equality must be part of syllabus. Supreme Court. So the justice here Nagarjuna tells centers that moral and ethical training adequate must be made from the school syllabus, and judges say parents stop discrimination between daughter and sons. So basically the concept of equality and moral and ethical training and how men should behave with women respectfully must be part of school syllabus, and these moral and ethical values etiquettes or firstly primarily come from homes. If they don't don't differentiate between the girls and boys and do not equality and don't just deprive only girls to behave well, to maintain everything, just they should also learn to the boys to all these etiquettes and values, so that these type of rape cases can be reduced. So these behaviors firstly from the home, and here's about the certain schools have it the classes usually cancel on other subjects. So this should be a moral and ethical training etiquette must be made a part of school syllabus, and there must be module to indicate a school at early age for children. So parents are more focused on restraining their daughters, not for their son. So the word discriminations here must be go for our vocabulary, the judge said. So there is a writ petitions filed by petitioner in person, senior advocate, who said the root cause of such cases and incident of crime against women was the lack of education. Lack of educations and the basic level about equality among the sexes. So tremendous strain is 50% of our populations. Like women are living under tremendous strain and insecurities. There is a rise in misconduct and barbaric attitude towards women. Education must be started at a small level to change the attitude towards women. They believed that social circles still believed that women neither belong to her parents' home or in-laws after marriage, but awareness that woman was independent, her own persons, and commanded respect and equal treatment in society must be inculcated in society. So the environmental science started being taught in school as a subject on the orders of Supreme Court likewise, and the moral education must be become a part of a school syllabus. The court ordered to government to place any measure taken for include the concept of sexual equality in the school syllabus. Media's awareness of stringent law against the false advertisement, and there is a 20 years about to be it's hung to be he sentenced to death. So its efforts to bridge the gap. The petition says their efforts has made to bridge the gap between the understanding and disseminations of the laws to public and the need for identifying the cause of this crime. Once it's done, next step would be try to find a measure revolutionize the country amongst a large and steady fear of the law. Next is about the US visit through the industry business lens. So here the Prime Minister Narendra Modi brief official working visit to United States last week was significant in many ways. So the visit was replayed over its productive outcomes for industry for both sides and defense technology energy. So the toward the trade push. Like first is the pivotal decision. There was a first phase of bilateral trade agreements BTA to reduce trade barriers and streamline regulatory processes. Second is several measures like 500 billion trade target. These questions can be asked. It's already total about the 500 billion trade target by 2030. Ambitious but possible, potentially to easier cross-border procedure. A labor-intensive product from India to as well as agriculture product highlight that export from both sides would be encouraged. So the confederations of Indian industry CI had endorsed the target as in reports of 2020 and believes that such sectors such as IT, pharma, garments, textile among would gain the joint commission to 500. So US market is already relatively open to Indian export. Well structure particularly facilitates and technology of defense and energy focus. Second, US transforming relationship utilizing strategic technologies trust underscores the deepening strategic technological partnership between the two nations and open further with the range of sector identified artificial intelligence, semiconductor, quantum computing, and the trust will help to foster the closer innovations of tech giants. Third is the defense sector here reinforces the India's US strategic partnership through expanded technology transfer, joint production, industrial collaborations, and the launch of 10-year framework for US India MESO partnership for transformative shift in bilateral defense trade. So fourth is about the energy corporations was another critical area of discussions with a focus of establishing a long-term strategic linkages as India. Fifth is about the two countries have placed further to Indian Middle East economic corridor with both countries entering to the bilateral arrangement and this region infrastructure certain could be fast tracked. So link in higher education is sixth is about on education institutional cooperation which includes the setting up campuses by leading US education institutes in India. So let's revise it. First focuses on bilateral trade to reduce the trade barriers. First is about the trade barriers. This I just apologize because my stylus is not working, so the writing is not much clear. I'm just writing it by hand. So second is on the transforming relations and utilizing strategic technology trust that deepening the strategic technological partners. It's trust. It's a technological partnership between the two nations open the further avenues for private sector and government academia like this quantum computing, biotechnology, it's defense, energy, space. Third is cover about the defense sector initiative like expanded technology transfers, joint confederations. And fourth is about the energy corporations critical areas that's establishing long-term strategic linkages to diversity. And fifth is about the Indian Middle Corridor, East European Corridor is IMC. Sixth is about education. So the leader decided to boost institutional cooperation which includes the setting of campuses. So these are basically the key features of the whole business lens of India's to US. It's about the 500 billion dollar contributions what is going to planned in this industry business lens to from US to India. Next is about a judge's dilemma. It's a Lokpal ruling court and that High Court judges was amenable to judications and motions raises to mere question. Basically, the Lokpal concept was based on to prevent the corruptions act of the cases and have a it's independence of judiciary and accountability. So the Lokpal public servant under prevention corruption of act Lokpal view premiers the prima facie is incorrect. It's prima facie is incorrect, and the High Court said that High Court established by status creating a respective their statutory and by the statutory and by the status of person within the meaning act of section 14 Lokpal Act. So the judges public servants under the Prevention of Corruption Act based on the principle of Lokpal has a ruling said to be reviewed by the times many come to address the issues accountability. So the Chief Justice of High Court or CJI President receives a complaint and charges appear to be true, recommending the removal of the parliament and options available. So corruption charge is the reason for never disclosed, and court has said that present to include a credible follow-up such as both accountability and independence were to be on the important for judiciary. Moving to the next is about the a record of 6.5 lakh olive ridley turtles reaches the Odisha beach for mass nesting. So here is the beach is Rushukulia. This is Rushukulia beach in Odisha in the in its Ganjam district for mass nesting. And during 23-24 this only sporadic nesting. So these are questions asked about the olive ridley turtle. It's important. Since IUCN status is it's found under the Endangered Species Act, and Mexico list as endangered at all. It's vulnerable under IUCN. So this is a herd of 6.5 lakh turtles have congregated at Rushukulia egg this year, and highest number of turtles is arriving at Rushukulia beach. This is a good thing that this population is already decreasing, and it maybe give this hope for rising their populations. So Coast Guard help, Indian Coast Guard help patrolling that were regularly monitoring the protected areas to prevent the human interference either from sea and poaching or leisure activities. So the Operation Olivia is also conducted from the November 1 last year to protect the turtles. Questions can be asked about Operation Olivia. So Operation Olivia. The next is about the army defense gear of the counter drone threat. So here the technologies ammunition of drone system army and defense gearing to induct of new fragmentation ammunition, and 1300 services were also pushed up to new system. So here the air missile reaction surfaces of air missile IQRSM system with next 5 months, and development of the DRDO organization has been priority of the army, and the first prototype model FOPM will be their first month because of the trial evaluated. So there the Army Director General is an interaction with the Friday said. Seventh is about the India as an emerging global powerhouse, says government Modi. Let me just So the PM highlights the world-class governance policy making for country needs like the school of utility leadership its soul. where the could change to prevent a game changer in this regard, and individual also read with Indian mind, understanding the international mindset, those who are always ready for strategic decision like crisis management, futuristic thinking, and the global institution. Then we need such leaders who can understand international business dynamics. So in coming areas, they are going to promote the leadership from diplomacy to reach innovations, and India's influence impact with the increase manifold in all the sectors. So leadership has to be created for conventional sectors like sports, agriculture, manufacturer, social services, and have to only aspire the excellence in every sector, but to achieve the goals through a developed India. So NMC guidelines for disabled candidate arbitrary rules. So NMC eligibility condition: a candidate with disability must have both hand intact sensation through sufficient strength to admission to MBBS and courses, and unethical to the constitution. So the prescription of both hand intact rig for ableism and no place for statute regulations. So these are the rules made for the disabled candidates in for admissions in the National Medical Commissions. Estimated is 50% locomotion for disability and 20% speech and language disability who aspire to medical profession. This is all for today's. So let's have a summary and ending the sessions. First page is covering about the US election, 8 allegations, deeply troubling, says MEA. India's China's worked hard to protect G20 Jaishankar, and the Stalin Pradhan spares over NEP languages provision. Uttarakhand tell why the HC sought to personal detail register to live in ties. Converting the court case backlogs into treasure troves. Fourth is article about concept of sexual equality must be a part of syllabus SC. Fifth article is about the US visit viewed through the industry business lens. A record for 6.5 lakh rightly turtles is reaching to Odisha for mass nesting. An army air defense gear up the counter drone threat. Seventh one is about the India's emerging global powerhouse first Modi, and NMC guidelines for disabled candidate rules. So that's for today. I don't know how time is just passing so much. It's been about 30 minutes. Maybe that I don't. The time is passing so fast because I'm interested in these works for like revising session of current affair, and if you love your work, then you don't know how the time passes. So it's a good thing about me, and maybe at the increasing time I will be able to deliver it more fluently and give you a better concepts and explanations. So thank you for today. Tomorrow we'll meet with the next editorial. So till now, good night, take care. Tomorrow we'll meet with a new editorial. Thank you.